When exactly is it that grinding in games stops being enjoyable? In this video I'm going to tell you why so many people enjoy grinding in games, and when it becomes a chore instead of a fun task. First, we need to talk about why people actually enjoy grinding anything. There's a certain comfort that many people get from doing something repeatedly and mindlessly for hours on end. You don't have to think too hard or make any meaningful decisions, you just do a set task and usually get rewarded for it. This is a feeling that many people enjoy, knowing that if you put in the time and effort, you will be acknowledged and rewarded. Games do this in multiple ways, whether it's a progress bar, a checklist, a trophy, or in most cases, a number going up. In a plethora of games, grinding feels safe. It's a predictable outcome that rewards your consistency instead of skill or creativity. But at some point, that feeling of joy changes. Usually it isn't a sudden switch of feeling towards it, but a gradual decline in your enjoyability. Grinding works because of one simple concept, and that's its honesty. You just do a set task, get some form of reward. There's no risk, no questions, and no emotion attached to the task you're doing. In a realistic scenario, effort isn't always going to mean progress. You could put in 100 hours of work just for your goal to not yet be achieved. But in video games, almost every time you're rewarded for the effort that you were putting in. That reliability on being rewarded is what makes you think that grinding a game is worthwhile. This can become an issue, as if games don't do the grind right, it will ruin that feeling you get for doing the task. Leading on from this takes us to the core problem of grinding starts when it stops being a choice and becomes an obligation. There's a certain moment that many gamers face, and that's when they stop asking, what can I do, but start asking, what's left to do. There's no longer a sense of meaningful reward for doing these grinds. A great example of this is games that have daily tasks, such as Final Fantasy XIV, Genshin Impact, and World of Warcraft. Doing daily tasks becomes not a choice that a player does for fun, but an obligation that the game forces upon them. Still, this isn't the final point of grinding issues. The issue is that everything becomes self-imposed. The grind doesn't necessarily feel like a negative, yet it also doesn't feel the same as it used to. It just feels necessary. What makes grinding so tricky is that essentially nobody is asking for you to complete anything. There's no negative impacts if you just get up one day and stop doing these things. Yet you still feel pressure to do these things regardless of that. People worry about abandoning progress and leaving behind something that's unfinished, which is a very human thing to do. We are coded to have a strong desire to complete tasks. This leads people to doing things like playing from guides, using online data to find an optimized route instead of exploring the content of their curiosity. You start playing the right way instead of freely. This is the point when grinding isn't fun anymore. It's tense and numbing instead of calming and rewarding. Not because there's a difficult challenge, but because your brain has attached a sense of value to finishing. And when enjoyment of a game becomes performative, nothing good comes of it. To answer the question from the beginning, when is it that a grind stops being fun? It's not when it's boring, or long, or repetitive. Grinding stops being fun when you make it non-optional. It's when you stop asking yourself what you want to do and telling yourself what you should do. Completion of games is not the problem. The problem is when completion replaces enjoyment. When the act of finishing a game becomes more important than actually wanting to play the game. Some games struggle with this more than others, as they don't respect where that line is drawn. They begin rewarding consistency without depth, time spent without any meaning. Other games handle grinding better by making repetition have positive outcomes, like learning something or reinforcing your mood. In games like that, playing still feels like playing and not an obligation. That's the balance between grinding. The moment that a game feels mandatory to play, it's ruined itself. It stops being rewarding because you're no longer doing it out of enjoyment. Finishing a game doesn't mean you have to do everything. Sometimes it just means that you have to have your fun. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. I'm still trying to figure out making YouTube videos, but I wanted to take my time with this idea and see how it lands. If this video resonates with you in any way, feel free to share your thoughts, and if you want more videos like this, don't be scared to like and subscribe. It's greatly appreciated. Again, thank you for watching.